Modest Bug goes Michael Slow King. He goes Corviknight on.
Everybody, thank you guys so much for joining us. Finchinator joining me once again here. We are live with our $25 OU tournament. We got some nice shooters again. We got a nice size bracket. Should be fun. Finchinator is so kind for you to join us once again. Stalker, and thank you for the subscription, by the way. And yeah, I think we're ready to go. Is there anything that we should be waiting for here, Finch? Garchomp versus Dragapult. Nasty matchup. You're risking the Draco Meteor, which is definitely the case. However, this Garchomp is not just any old Garchomp. It is a Sash Garchomp. You're going to go for rocks turn one. Got to get them rocks up. Honestly, they didn't have a lot of choice besides Jirachi's a defensive swap in. And of course, we're seeing a Shadow Ball there. Weavile's the swap in here. As you're going to go for another Draco Meteor. What's Weavile clicking? Swords Dance. Going for a bit of a prediction there, but pans out because the Dragapult's defenses are so low. Corviknight is going to come in instead as Weavile goes for another Swords Dance. Triple Axle is an absolute nuke at this point. Garchomp is a sack. It's going to take a ton from Rough Skin.
And now we got a 50-50. Where I always flick Sucker Punch here. I don't know about you.
We're not quite caught up. Yeah, Bisharp here. Yeah, I'm thinking Sucker Punch like 8 times, honestly. I'm not losing to Weavile.
Well, it seems as if Serene Grace agrees.
And now, definitely Clefable for me. Depending unless it's a full Spadef Clefable.
Well, it depends. Are you a baller or are you not a baller?
Finch, don't you dare ask that at me. I'm insulted you never asked that.
This is a non-choice Bisharp. I'm always clicking knockoff right now.
Really?
No one ever clicks. Look, no one ever clicks close combat right now. And as we see there, that's a Life Orb Plasma Fist. That is basically a dead Zero Aura all of a sudden.
All right. Apparently, one of us is baller, one of us is not. We get it.
There is a problem with this, though. With the Sucker Puncher now almost dead, and the Garchomp very much dead, multiple times over, in fact. There's also a Volcarona. Volcarona can set up on a non-Brave Bird Corviknight, most Clefable sets. You can even set up on Slowking if it's got Bug Buzz or Roost. That could be problematic.
Yeah, Dragapult's not much of an answer there either. They're going to sack the Bisharp to boot. I'm surprised they didn't go to Volcarona because they didn't want that U-turn. This will be Clefable. Will we see a Thunder Wave? They're going to scatter it out with Rillaboom. I like that play. Okay, that's very big for Serene Grace there. Could, of course, if it's an unaware Clefable, this is the perfect answer to Volcarona. We don't know, of course. Those are still rather uncommon on the ladder. Less than 10% as far as I know. We get a Thunder matchup here. Definitely going to be a Paralyze. Huge swing. Does get off the U-turn, though. Into Dragapult.
T-Wave on Clef definitely helps Serene Grace. But the issue with this is that there's still this Pokemon called Volcarona. And it's still pretty strong. Even when it's paralyzed, so.
Volcarona will swap in now. Is Roost like the most common thing on Volcaronas nowadays?
It really depends on the team. Roost is on more sets than not, but you see 3 attacks every now and then. You don't see 4 attacks ever, though. It always got Quiver Dance.
Well, not going to do it. I think they'll be able to handle this. This should be fine. Let's say the Roost. We'll see. They sack the Corviknight here. Keep the Dragapult alive.
To 51 probably means he's modest. Modest Bug goes Michael Slow King. He goes Corviknight on Flamethrower.
Okay. Caught up.
He's Giga Drain and he gets the crit. Oh my goodness gracious. That is just quite unfortunate. I feel as if the game
down catastrophic. Oh my god.
The game was over without that. Yeah. I mean, he would have had to crit repeated Grassy Glides into Clefable and hope it was specially defensive.
So you Thunder Wave here. Oh my god. Dragapult's...
Well, what you have to do is you have to Thunder Wave on the Quiver Dance. Then you have to go hard Dragapult on the whole para. Then you have to get a critical hit. Or be Seismic Toss Clefable. Either Calm Mind Clefable might do it too. Hold the phone.
We're going to the top here. We're going to the top.
This war favors the Clefable. Favors the Clefable. Boo. Boo. The war favored the Clefable because the Volk wasn't Roost too.
I am stunned.
Pachi, 1909, playing like it's 1909, not giving a damn what's favorable. Man was just like, nah, I'm winning. And then he won.
Let's see a couple of F's in the world. I appreciate it. So we're going to see Landers come in on the Volt switch from Zeraora. very huge turn. They're going to take the knockoff. Looking for an over prediction here. Do we see Stealth Rocks go up? This is winner semis, by the way. So the winner of this one's going to proceed to the winners finals. Pretty important match, all things considered. Wrote him a good answer to Landorus, but it does take, a substantial chip from that U-turn there. Letting in Tapu Koko. I'm going to guess we see a Volt switch.
And, I do want to note, Koko looks really poor in this game between Ferrothorn, 2 electric immunities, and a Rotom Wash. So the fact that it was able to get a Toxic off there in the Garchomp would have been a ton of progress, but it misses. So that's really unfortunate there for Axolo, finding an opening and not making the most of it. But he can bounce back getting the Heatran in here on turn 6.
Pretty much the only thing I can see that Koko doing is like revenge killing Lele and Garchomp and maybe a low health Rotom and Zeraora.
They could have done a Toxic off there on the main Heatran counter, but alas, the game was not allowing such things to happen.
Toxic 90% accuracy is such a middle finger one. Like, just seems like out of nowhere. But I guess most status moves are low accurate now.
Black and White, the generation I first started, poison types could miss Toxic. I don't know if you knew that.
They couldn't miss Toxic?
They could miss Toxic. So if you have like a Tentacruel with Toxic and Black White OU,
right,
you can miss Toxic 10% of the time.
Yeah, I just find that such just a middle finger. We see Landorus against the Toxic from Garchomp here, so we're going to pivot back out. So Landorus is now like disastrously low health, especially with that Toxic. Weavile will get in for free, but Ferrothorn's a big obstacle to them, and in addition to Rotom Wash, of course. Does lose its leftovers here, so a little bit reduced here. We're going to see Landorus coming again. Super low health. We see Prediction. Nope. But still, what are you clicking here with your Landorus? I guess just U-turn. Compared to the Slowking.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing some really good Volt Switch calls, which is kind of how we see Haxolo clawing back into an optimal position, but I almost feel as if this matchup for Koko is just so poor that all he should really be doing with it is clicking pivoting moves and just trying to get other things in because Koko is not actually doing anything, which can be an effective strategy, but also isn't ideal for your primary revenge killer and momentum Pokemon.
For sure. Really a miserable matchup pull. 2 resists.
But every time that Weavile gets in, Apache has got to be scared. He's got to be trying to get back to 1909 before Weavile was created.
We have to go back further.
Oh my goodness. Are you on You're like right behind me. Okay. You watch what happens here.
Another Swords Dance? Oh my god. So Laylee's going to come in looking for the Ice Shard. Oh my gosh. What a call out. And
we saw the double Swords Dance call, followed by the Ice Shard call, risking it all. But was it worth the risk? I guess we'll find out in the long haul here.
That's an incredible series. Calling out that Ice Shard so hard. Lando coming in on the Rotom again. We see another Volt Switch answer we do there. If I'm Rotom, I'm probably clicking Volt Switch again, honestly. But they know they get the correct call. They stick to their guns. They Hydro Pump. That will invite in the Koko again. Yeah, they've gotten this play wrong a couple times. Wrong, aka missing. But here they're just going to go for the straight pivot move like you recommended there. Rotom really back up to full. Pain Split in a classic black and white sense. Like,
yeah, I mean, Rotom
absolutely
doing
keeping this thing alive.
Generator impression in this battle.
Yeah, exactly. It's
just like, you guys might have an ability that does it, but I got a move that does it, so get the hell out.
Plus, it does damage. Someone should make a video about that.
I've always tried to calculate how much HP Pain Split will cover at any point in time there, and I could never do that in the middle of the battle. I just never bother. I just guesstimate the HP.
I mean, it does damage. Yeah, I'm not even approach that. I don't even attempt it. Shadow Steep for even trying that. Stays in. They get the overprediction right this year.
I break out the pen and paper and I'm like, okay, give me a second here.
Tapu Lele's going to come in on the Icicle Crash. They go for the same play again here. Doesn't quite pan out. Probably not the end of the world for them. Here's their order, though, on the Revenge Kill. Close combat. Heatran will be able to handle okay, but it's looking pretty bad for Haxolo at this point. Beyond the Tapu Koko match, everyone else is just so low.
Solo wins unless Apache 1909 also has 1909 internet as well. So
you're just loving this 1909. You're just you're coming back to that well.
I mean, why not 1910? Why not 1912? What about those years?
Were you born in 1909 another life, and it's bringing you back?
How about this life? Maybe I was frozen in an iceberg for 100 years. Maybe I'm the fucking Avatar.
We see hard switch onto Ferrothorn there, looking to punish Tapu Koko with Iron Barbs even more. Seems a bit unnecessary to me. Ferrothorn is... Hey, can somebody drop the Discord link for Bond to Tequila?
Sorry?
An Apache. Oh, hope you weren't in this chat the whole time here. Coco's going to come in on the Garchomp, on the Sack. Makes sense to me. Really, everything's coming down to, I don't know, Weavile critting a ton of moves.
I think you might even need more than that at this point, too.
Yeah, maybe Divine Intervention at this point. There goes Slowking. Dragon Darts Dragapult is looking quite solid, to be honest. The metal will come in. I'll take the Shadow Ball fine. So substitute instead. Oh, it's actually a Dragon Dance set. Okay. Oh, the superpower too. Gutsy from Max Lolo. Looks like that's it. What a way to finish in style there. So unless we see a full confuse here. Oh. Are you serious?
Oh. But wait. No! No, name that exists. Pulling back a win that was improbable, seemingly insurmountable, but here he is, thanks to double confusion, coupled with Slowking really testing its ways, hitting itself twice. I don't think that was the best strategy for Slowking, but it seems that Slowking disagrees as it ends up exiting the battle just before the finish line.
I'm gonna call my shot. That was bullying. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Okay, so we see Testicles here versus Hacker. Testicles here versus Hacker. Testicles here versus Hacker. Really fun teams for both sides, actually. Really like it. The Scarf Nidoking gonna immediately steal Hacker's lunch money. Magnuson's gonna swap in, take advantage of that Flash Cannon, looking like a 2-hit KO here. Not quite on the Hippowdon though. Hippowdon is the answer in turn. We will see some rocks exchanged in all likelihood at this point, maybe some Toxics. We'll see what each player values the most. Delphox going to go up there, makes sense. Hydreigon's to swap in on a Toxic, do we see? Or Whirlwind, actually. Wow, predicting a swap, but that's going to be Jirachi in. Jirachi forced to swap out.
Wow,
I'm going to guess a U-turn. Body Slam, wow. On the full para, hits it. Wow.
What is this Hippowdon set? Oh my goodness.
Really bailed out. Hippowdon, yeah, I mean, I imagine they have Earthquake here. I hope. Hydreigon comes in on the... You're right, they do. So Jirachi was secretly a good matchup there. Here comes Hydreigon. In this specific matchup, it actually doesn't even matter that much. It's the wildest thing. Hydreigon completely walled by Clefable here, of course. Flash Cannon not going to do it. Even with a Life Orb nasty plot, it's not going to do it. So looks like we're going to see Magnezone coming at this point. Extral instead, maybe a Rapid Spin looking for a bit of a sweep here on the Powdon. You get a full para and a Swords Dance, maybe. Not like that. They are Life Orbs. If you Swords Dance, maybe go to shop. They're gonna play it safe with their Powdon instead on the body press. Full para.
Kind of doing work. I mean, who needs Earthquake when you got Whirlwind and body press?
Again, like you look at this team, and it's not that much worse, really. I'm not sure if that's the case versus every team, but honestly, it's not so bad.
I mean, not being able to kill a Heatran or do more than 10% to a Toxic probably has drawbacks, but you know.
Now, EQ would have been a little bit better versus Choppleberry Magnezone, but still.
Like, I feel like the Heatran matchup gets very bad between Volcarona not being able to touch it, Clef not being able to touch it, and Hippo not being able to kill it, but hey.
Hey, who's judging? Thunderwave, oh my god, what? Okay.
Crazy players.
Do we see a Thunderbolt here? A Volt Switch? That'll work. You have one more turn of Excadrill. At this point, though, like, Dragonite... Well, I guess you got Hippowdon still. I'm going to say it's over, but it's looking very difficult. A lot of pressures on this Excadrill right now. I'd love to see an aggressive Rapid Spin here, looking for some sort of other move from the Hippowdon, but fair enough. That's a very safe play. I won't judge it. Scarf Nidoking is going to come back in on the... I was looking for Jirachi there, but we're going to see Hippowdon coming instead on the Flamethrower. And that's just fine. Probably a slack.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good pivot there, that's for sure. But I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. It might be too little too late, you know?
Possibly banded Dragonite. Does not have heavy-duty boots. Absolutely banded on the Whirlwind. Here comes Volcarona. EQ should be able to clean this up nicely. Bug Buzz does do it. Man, am I mistaken? So that's got to be Excadrill right now.
Yeah.
Takes that one out. I mean, honestly, geez. Not looking awful. My biggest concern is Urshifu. Nidoking's not going to be able to outspeed. They just do that to bait the Earthquake there. Love that play. I imagine just extreme speed here from Dragonite. Just chip it, why not? With Life Orb, it's going to be worn real low. Yep,
well, the Scarf Nidoking wins when Fan goes out.
Yeah, this is... I liked that play of baiting the Earthquake on Dragonite a lot. Really helped him out. Bought a
yeah, wasted a Sand turn too.
Yep, here comes Rachi. Yeah, Nidoking's going to be able to clean up there with the Earth Power. Crazy. Unless... No.
No, nothing.
Pretty fun game, though. I enjoyed that. Well played endgame from Test, though. Got a little bit scary there. That brings us to winners finals with two new faces, as far as I know. Big Bison Brawl, I don't think I've seen them at all. Apache 1909, been grinding these tournaments up for a little while. So happy to see them into the winners finals here. Very, very cool stuff. The winner of this is huge stakes. I mean, it's so important to be able to go into the grand finals with that margin of error where you can lose a game and still come out on top. All right, we are in Brawl versus Apache here. Really offensive team from Apache.
That one side has a reuniclus and one side does not.
This is true. This is something you and I have in common, Pitchinator. We are big reuniclus lovers. So I am automatically rooting for Big Bison Brawl here.
Who says we're reuniclus lovers? Maybe I'm a reuniclus hater.
Are you?
No, I'm not. I like reuniclus.
I think one of the first video I ever saw from you was when you put out a viability list on Black and White, and you just gassed up reuniclus for like 10 minutes. It's like, this guy's this reuniclus is insane. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The Garchomp matchup against the Rotom Wash here. Not the best swap in, takes a lot. But they do get Up Rocks, which is going to help against a team this offensive for sure. Going to get them the lower percentages here.
It's not Rotom Wash, so Rocks have to stay, so it's worthwhile. If it is, I guess you could try and go for like a Toxic here, but you don't have a great switch. So I don't know. Probably not the best start for a Big Bison Brawl. Is it Big Bison Brawl?
BBB. Triple B.
Triple B.
Now,
I mean, part of the Big Brawler brand?
You've got lots of switch-ins for Hydro Pump, lots of switch-ins for Volt Switch, but nothing for both really on this team. I mean, Reuniclus is as good as it gets, but I imagine that Big Bison's got a specific role in time here. This is true. This is like Lonzo BBB ball. I like that.
Yeah, I gotta know because that determines who I'm rooting for here.
I'm already voting for the Reuniclus. I mean, if it's a Reuniclus person representing Lonzo BBB ball, then it's over for Apache. I'll force kick them out of the tournament. Okay, it's over.
All right. Well, yeah. So we can just advance them to the finals then, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, Apache. You had a good run. You are a loyal viewer of the chat, but
you
we just forced them out.
But you just got to respect the man. You got to pay respect.
It's true. Respect the brand. Now Skarmory, I'm imagining he's gonna drop some spikes right now. They might even see an exchange of spikes right now from both parties. Defogger, Landorus on BBB side. Rotom, a little bit lower health thanks to his Toxic. Maybe Rotom as a swap in, so you can go for a Defog once you've got this Leech Seed to mitigate some of the Toxic damage here. I don't hate either play. Zero is the option. So that's exactly what they were looking for, but Heavy Boots either way, so I don't really need a Leech Seed there. I would have liked some spikes.
Yeah.
Scald's gonna burn too. Really, really risky knockoff. Looking for the Landorus swap in, they don't get it. Even Plasma Fist would not have killed there, so that's...
It turns out that if you get greedy, then bad things happen in Pokemon. It's a pretty shocking concept there.
Sometimes. When we see a Ferrothorn burn too, that would make matters a little bit worse, but they're all right.
Want to know another concept? We're going all full conceptual here.
This is... Finch is dropping life hacks right now.
So if you click the super effective move, then sometimes a lot of damage occurs. But if you don't, sometimes less damage occurs.
You know what? I heard that from Hop and Sword and Shield, so I actually did know that one, luckily. I also attended trainer school with Roxanne from Ruby and Sapphire, so I did know those.
Really?
Yeah. I'm something of a gamer.
I didn't know that. Good for you.
Write that down. Yeah. Write that down. So Toxic versus the Rotom here. Gonna recover back up, get into that good range. Again, Rotom's actually really important here. It's a great answer for Landorus, who's probably gonna be coming in frequently as a Defogger. Shiny Reuniclus. Cultured. But yeah, Garchomp's already taking a big Hydro Pump so far. Skarmory hates this matchup. It's going to be a constant thorn in Big Bison's side here if they play it correctly, which so far they've done. So I really like the play so far. If they also have Pain Split, like, my word. Zero Aura matchup versus the Reuniclus. Going to swap out two of the Toxpecs. You only ever see that on a Burnt Zero Aura. That's pretty funny switch in. Layla's going to come in. I imagine you see Skarmory here. Makes sense to me. It's Mr. Legs Benedict. Super McNasty just dropping some big usernames in the chat right now. How do you make a Pokemon for the bottom? Can somebody drop the avatar help for Stack Attacka there? The Ferrothorn taking a huge focus blast here. We love to see Reuniclus pop off like this. Also some big future states.
Yeah, all 41%.
Hey, any percent's good percent. Won the game single-handedly. Dragapult gonna come in, force a swap to either Skarmory or Toxapex. Toxapex looks like it's the play right now. On a substitute, it's Dragon Dance Dragapult, it looks like. Toxapex, if it's got knockoff, should be able to handle this, I imagine. But it doesn't have Haze, of course. So kind of a nasty situation here. Skarmory could also work if it's got Whirlwind. I would probably go to Skarmory and Whirlwind immediately if I were BBB here. No. They go to Bisharp. Do you not have Whirlwind on squad?
What if it's beat up?
I mean, it does resist both of Dragon Bolt stabs here, but like...
No, but like, what if it has the move beat up and it just kills? Do it a sub. Nope.
Could. I forgot that it was on the Talus set. You're right. Dragon Darts is going to need extremely good rolls in order to kill at this point. You're going to actually sub again, looking for some sort of over prediction there. I like... what is this Skarmory if it's not Whirlwind? And it's not Whirlwind, go to it, you know? It is a little bit low. I don't think they love swapping into like Dragon Darts, but they should be able to handle it fine. If they Phantom Force, which is the thing that would be the unresisted stab on you, then you get a free roof. So like, they're really staying the course with these substitutes though. BBB is not flinching whatsoever. I love that. 4 straight knockoffs. Like, I think they're gonna click knockoff here. So they get the rolls. 27, that's good. 25, they get big rolls. So last time it bottomed out at 23. So they do overcome that.
That is not very big brawler brand.
That is not very BBB. How's this one shaping up here? It does look like a close game. Dragapult could do it. I mean, what's the specs Dragapult doing versus a Tapu Koko? I think I might be able to do it. This might be it. Slowbro is going to die. Here comes Koko. You also have a full health Ferrothorn. You don't even have to do this, but there's risk of a U-turn. But if they U-turn, yeah, if they U-turn, then they take enough damage, so they're definitely in range of Shadow Ball here. So close game, but top 500 mainstay. We've watched several of their games so far. They're in a good spot. I didn't think they wanted that to hit. And then, yeah, Dragapult's going to clean up here. Oh!
Yeah.
Oh! Oh! Oh. Wow.
Oh my god, it lived.
1%. That's incredible. So that's going to take us to the losers quarters. Now we're to top 8. Everybody in here is getting at least 8th rank. Of course, all the pot's going to go to first. So really just good for nothing but bragging rights. We've seen a couple of test games. Only the one of Palsy. But we'll see how they can pan out here. Is a Clefable sweep worthy of a bird up? No. Wings do not make a bird. Your heart does. It's going to be really up to Palsy to get some extremely strong offense going because, yeah, the switch-ins for Kyurem look difficult. Or, I mean, if it's specs Kyurem, like, you can do it if, you know, you go to Heatran on all the ice moves.
Go Loking the first time always, and if it's specs, you live a freeze dry, and then you can just go Heatran easy, but the issue is what if it's sub Kyurem, and then you have no Infiltrator anyway, so it's kind of hard for you to check it.
That's very true. Pismar's going to identify their most important matchup here and go to their Kyurem right away. I hope that they're not listening to us because I want to point out that, as always, our policy, we can't stop stream sniping. But if you're playing the game, we do ask that you mute us because we don't want to be seen as people who are coaching here.
That is not Specs Kyurem.
Right. So Slowking can scout that out. So what's the play now? Do we go to, not Heat Rank, it's got Earth Power. We're going to go straight to Skarmory instead. On the substitute, going to body press here. Should be able to handle it pretty fine unless its Spadef isn't terrible. It's only got freeze dry. Magzone is the hard swap. Love it. But there goes Skarmory. Can make things even nastier for Kyurem going forward. 2 KO there for sure. You know, no HP fire Magnezone, but can still handle the Steel Flyings just fine.
Yep.
Going to instead see probably Heatran here at this point. Nope, Urshifu, it's a much better play. I like that. You turn on the Tapu Fini. Get a Zeraora there. Actually, just go for it. Looks like a pretty offensive Fini given by the massive amount of damage there. Boom is going to be the answer to the Scarfini. Do we see Moonblast do 53? Yikes, man. Fini hits way harder than it gets credit for. As the Lander's going to come in, is going to intimidate. Only neutral to grass moves, of course, but we're going to see a U-turn instead. Here comes Urshifu again. If that's an offensive Fini, then similar to Kyurem being a nasty matchup for Palsy, this Urshifu is like really a nasty matchup. Do we see the rolls? No, not even. No rolls would allow it to die here, but still. Fini essentially dead to any hatchet that might go up. Who do we go to here? Rillaboom on a possible U-turn. They go to Urshifu. Aggressive. I don't hate it. Here comes Kartana. Heatran.
Great Sacred Woodfall. Wow.
It's aggressive, and they get the play right. Pismir's, Lonzo, BB. Oh, no, that's the other one. Pismir's is just your Heatran set appreciator. Here comes Slowking. Probably Scalding here. Handles a bunch of Sacred Swords, but this stuff isn't fantastic. Here comes Magnezone here. Not quite cutting it close, but no cigar. Yeah, Magnezone was worried about a possible swatch to Zero Aura there, but they get it anyways. I always say swatch because it's a mix between swap and switch. It's the bane of my existence. Lando, great Zero Aura counter. Handles that just fine. We'll probably see Slowking. Okay. It's kind of nasty because Lando just really picks apart this team. U-turns destroy Slowking and Rillaboom. Yikes. And Earthquake destroys everything else. Here comes Kartana. Grassy Glide not going to do it. Really can pick any move it wants at this point. It's going to do massive damage. Grassy Glide's not even close to doing it. So
we know it's a banded Kartana though, so Zero Aura can Revenge Club, but close combat is barely going to do leftovers damage to his Landorus T, so...
Yeah,
thankfully it's not leftovers right now, but yeah.
A double switch here would be nice, but Kyurem really didn't even come into it. Honestly, all it did really throughout the whole game was.
It's funny what happens when Magnezone removes the Skarmory. Kartana does pretty well.
Yeah, it is funny, isn't it? And by funny, I mean sad. Very.
I mean, did it
sad.
literally get 5 kills?
I guess TBD, but yes. Yo, creative.
Yeah.
Welcome. Glad to hear it. Okay, so here we go. We see Pismar's bringing the same team they had so much success with. Apache is bringing... I think we saw this in the winners side of the bracket. But really offensive team. Kyurem answers are limited. Once again, it is as Pokemon famously did with his awesome video about Kyurem recently. It's an impressive force on team building. There are answers to it, but they're limited. You have to be careful. In terms of lead matchups, you have to respect the Kyurem. So Zero Aura might be a play if that's the case. Garchomp would not be respecting the Kyurem at all, but it does handle this Kartana very nicely. Really, I'm surprised by the Garchomp pick. I guess it hits you okay, and you. So just numerically, Garchomp is a good pick, but I would have been so afraid of the Kyurem or even the Tapu Fini, but still works out for them very nicely there. Going to go for the knockoff, stay the course, risking an Earthquake. It is Focus Sash, so it seems like it's a bit of a suicide lead. Not quite going to do it for Kartana. Kartana does have actually solid Biz Def. Got to keep that in mind. Corona come in, maybe... No, they just stay the course, trying to get their chip there. Gets the Beast Boost off. Maybe Weavile can do it at this point with an Ice Shard. I'm not confident. More importantly, let's Tapu Fini completely for free. I'm not getting rid of this Kartana if I'm Pismire, especially after the performance it showed up last game. No steel types for it to really be resisted by, with the exception of Jirachi, but Jirachi doesn't really love this matchup at a +1 knockoff. It's just doing too much damage here. Here comes Weavile, threatening an Ice Shard. Of course, Tapu Fini, Scarf, or otherwise, is about as good of an answer as you can hope for this Weavile, so it's not a great situation here. But, I mean, once Tapu Fini does go down, Weavile does look really, really nice in this matchup. If it's got Poison Jab, well, it's outsped at this point, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, Moonblast doesn't one-shot Weavile.
It doesn't, eh? Okay, so...
So, +2 knockoff into +2, yeah.
Oh, they're instead going to go to Rillaboom here. Threatening the Grassy Glide. Kartana can no longer take it.
Actually,
Magnem's the
that's
only
the
option.
offensive Scarf set, so it does. Defensive Scarf Fini does not.
Okay, fair enough.
So some people run a lot of bulk on their Scarf Fini to choose things like Heatran and Weavile and Bisharp and other moves that do damage, because doing less damage is better than doing more damage when you're defensive, so, you know.
Might have to check your math on that one, but I'll take your word for it.
You know, let me get the calculator out here. Oh, I'm wrong. You're right. But so is Pismire as he keeps in his Magnezone on a Volcarona and gets
I don't blame Pismire for that.
1908.
I don't hate that play at all, because really Magnezone isn't doing too much this game except for being some sort of help for Weavile and Jirachi. I mean, as I say that, and Rillaboom, that is pretty helpful. So I was saying, if that was as bad a matchup as I first thought, it's a good move. But honestly, I think Magnezone actually could have done a lot in this game.
I mean, I don't think Magnezone was doing much here, but it's
really, even
always
with the
nice,
Jirachi and the Rillaboom swap in, I thought it was okay. He was very weak to Volk, Pokegamer talking about. Yeah, I mean, you do still have the Slowking here. You do still have Scarfini in some situations, but we'll see. Kyurem really just roosted it out here. I respect it. Here comes Slowking.
I don't love
Poison
that
resist.
Galar King switch.
Go back to
He's trying to
Kyurem.
put himself in a position
Kyurem's
where
gonna
he has a
be
Pokemon out when it dies.
ton
It
here.
doesn't lose the Volk, but he ended up with taking damage on 2 Pokemon and a Pokemon out to lose the Volk anyway, so.
Yeah, and Slowking, one of your best answers for Volk. Yeah, you're right.
You know what would be pretty good? If
What?
players brought checks and counters to Volcarona to their games.
Late night Finch getting sassy.
I'm just thinking, wait, it's a Meteor Beam Jirachi that just happened. Okay, hold on. Hold the phone. If you have a phone in your hand, pick it up and hold it. If you have a phone anywhere else, pick it up and hold it. Oh my god, oh my goodness. This game might be over. Alright, so Volcarona wins here, I think.
With the Moonblast locked in right now, yeah, it looks like it.
Unless it's Edge, Landorus T, but if it's a bulky rock set, oh, well, I guess he feared that. He was like, you know what? I'm a ball up. So
Takes it really seriously, yeah. I mean, I was going to say that Weavile also looks really good, aside from the Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini's not too defensive. Fini is the play right now. Do we see a triple axe? Not going to be nearly enough. Maybe Zero Aura here afterwards. Not too essential, especially with the Landorus as healthy as it is. Alejandro, it's going great. That's exactly what I expected. The Zero Aura is a swap in there. We'll get to it, KO, because Tapu Fini's past that critical 80 base speed tier that you need to outspeed Zero Aura and Dragapult there. So it looks like it's going to be the sack and go for another Quiver Dance on the Volcarona, kind of same situation as before. They really just had to look around things a little bit more, but not the worst situation to be in. They're going to go Landorus here. Kind of surprising because Fini outsped and definitely killed, but it doesn't really matter to Apache. It's going to sack this. Go to their Weavile. You can't even double switch to Volcarona because then you're letting a water move come in. You really just stay in attack, I think, and take the Moonblast so that you can get it set up with Volcarona.
I'm not sure I agree with every play that was just made.
It did seem like a lot of fodder went off. So yeah, you just have to stay the course here with Weavile.
Oh no, he only has one, which allows him to Hydro Pump on this. Oh no. I don't understand that.
Well, Prismere's will be taking it then.
But why not click knockoff with Weavile? That gives wait, Volcarona dodged anyway.
Okay. Prismere's rattled.
Oh my god, it's oh. Wait. So you're telling me there's a chance?
Can it outpace the Slowking Galar in time? Slowking Galar is literally not clicked the move the whole time. Probably Assault Vest, but you never know. Slack off, you're in a great spot.
I think on turn 26 he had to go Slowking Galar, then switch out to Firelander's T to burn a turn of poison to get that regenerator. I don't think he's got enough. Wait a second. He does have
Earthquake.
Anyway. Wow, what a crazy finish as Piz Myers takes out everyone's favorite user from 1909 because he's the only user from 1909, and that'll be that.
Shout out to Apache for an awesome run.
Oh yeah, no,
unbelievable
Apache,
ending there.
You're to go.
You did fantastic.
We got the man with the plan on the Tran versus everyone's favorite fetus-themed Pokemon. A game that will end all games right here. We got Piz Myers versus
Pitch's two favorites. You could have to pick your two favorites you want to see in Grands. These would have been the two right here. Piz Myers carrying.
You do have to win two Piz Myers, yes.
Carrying your favorite Heatran set, following the meta posts on the forum. Meanwhile, we have reuniclus coming up against it. Both you and I, a favorite of ours. In terms of matchups, this is a really interesting team from Piz Myers. I like what we're seeing right now. Big Bryson Brawl brought this team in the winners finals bracket. So there is some information out there on it, but we'll see how they match up so far. $25 on the line. Big Bryson Brawl has to lose twice in order to lose because they are on the winner's side of the bracket. They need a bracket reset in order to lose. So we'll see how Piz Myers can do. It's all led to this moment, everybody. We can get some slightly more hype music. I enjoy Summer in Lacunosa as much as the next guy, but let's pick it up. Draco Meteor doing big damage to Chalk Spikes, but not quite enough. Life Orb taking so much damage to the Hydreigon. Do we see a Roost here? Potential. I doubt it with a Life Orb Hydreigon. You never know. Toxic on the Hydreigon on the Roost. Crazy. Definitely going to be a swap here. I'm imagining to Clay Fable or Landorus. Landorus is more risky of the two options. Here comes Fable. Recovering. Gets a lot there. There was a Black Sludge. Scalding back, doing no kinds of damage in return. Doesn't really get a lot of momentum there for Big Bison. Thunder Wave, now attack class is limited in terms of the possible turns you can get off. Really, this damage on Clayable doesn't really matter here. It's not Magic Guard, or sorry, it's not Unaware. It's really odd that we're seeing the course like this. I mean, they're both kind of just in a stalemate here. SS moment right here. Vintage SS moments. I mean, guys, you got to try SS. It's sick.
You know, it's funny. I actually did some statistics earlier. There were 192 games played in the first round of the World Cup of Pokemon. All of them, of course, being in SSOU.
Right.
And there were only 28 games that went over 100 turns, which is almost half as much as last year. So we're cutting down. Actually, the meta is more offensive now than ever.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I think any arguments that, you know, the metagame or that there's a hidden conspiracy of the Smogon Council to make stall a thing is obviously ridiculous, but probably never more so than ever. We had a fun discussion last time on the nature of future port and stuff like that and how it creates an offensive metagame. Maybe it's over controlling, but if it creates an interesting metagame, who cares?
Yeah.
It's taking the doubles to Heatran, which will take it well. Awesome matchup for the Skarmory. Handles the future state really nicely too. Now, they don't follow your advice and Lava Plume to try to bait in the Toxapex, but instead just go rip for the Mega Storm right away there. Here comes
that's just a misutilization of the set, unfortunately.
Pardon me?
This is a misutilization of the set, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. Here comes reuniclus on the U-turn, taking really big damage, actually. Sure enough, here comes. Definitely specs guaranteed by that chip it's taking right there. Well, I guess it could be Dragon Dance. U-turn is surprising to me. Gets Landorus back in, but I'd rather be trying to break with my specs Dragapult than my Landorus here. That's just my 2 cents. Here comes Skarmory on another U-turn. Like, look, I get it. Volt turn is fun, but like, all right, here's Skarmory here. Do we see? Yeah, Toxapex get even more health. There's the Hex. Okay, Specs Hex, a little bit interesting. Bishop will be able to handle that fine. Fine being the operative word, but maybe not perfect. Instead, it's got to be Zapdos, Landorus, one of those two. Anything's possible at Flying Rhino Junior High.
I mean, we could just see the Dragapult click Hex and the Bisharp click Low Kick, and that'll solve that. But not exactly what happens there. We see a knockoff into the Zapdos, meaning it loses its boots. So for those of you wondering what Zapdos has on its feet, they're now bare. It's unfortunate.
Talon's going to hurt somebody. The heavy duty boots are actually to protect the user Pokemon so they don't get injured. Draco Meteor on the Garchomp. Very cool tech. Unfortunately, is wasted.
Draco Landorus said, "Let me pick that up for you."
It's actually, it was a Fire Blast Garchomp we saw earlier. And I talked about the Dragon Gem Garchomp. So almost really that tech just recreated there. Very cool to see.
Chain Chomp making its way back into the metagame, surprisingly. Always fun to see.
It's cool because it's, you know, Draco Meteor, especially with the gem in previous gens, hit really, really hard, of course. And then once Garchomp had that lowered special attack stat, which would normally cripple an offensive special attack Emon like Latios, you still have that, like, insanely, even uninvested, insanely strong Earthquake from Garchomp too in the wing. So it's always been a favorite set of mine. Here comes Zapdos against the reuniclus. I think we compare this Regenerator. Yeah, sure, with that Stealth Rock's Absolute Regenerator. I think probably Regenerator specs, but they're going to swap it to the Garchomp to play it safe here. Still takes so much damage in the Hurricane. They're probably going to try to go for another one here. I certainly would. Only ones that are swapping into that Hurricane are Bisharp and possibly Skarmory, and that's not a situation I'm trying to produce. So I gotta say, I don't love Bison Brawl's chances right now. That spike they got up is very excellent. Especially this Bisharp about to be chipped like it's going to. Never mind, they're going to Roost here instead. Reuniclus is the play. Hurricanes. We're going to see Zapdos Defog. That was one of the big concerns I had. Kind of out the way now. Reuniclus take not too much damage. Is it Assault Vest instead, actually, instead of Specs? Perhaps, because that Hurricane's doing no damage.
That is Assault Vest versus a defensive, yeah.
Yeah. So Zapdos is going to... I was expecting a Volt Switch there, but they're looking for the full Confuse. Well, just trying to chip it down, of course. So now it's down to a functional 55%, which they're doing a lot. We'll definitely see a Roost into probably another attack from Reuniclus if they're feeling gutsy, which they definitely are. Future Sight, I love it. So they're going to be up to 55% once Regenerated proc comes into effect here. Zapdos has got that Future Sight hanging over its head right now as Garchomp goes for the Meteor again. Earthquake would have 2-hit KO'd the Fable here, but not quite going to do it. Here comes Skarmory instead. On the Lando. Probably free spikes there for Skarmory, which is really impactful, honestly, for Big Bison. Instead, we'll see a swap out to, I was going to say Zapdos, but Heatran instead on the Body Press. Wow, I Did not expect that whatsoever.
I don't think that really matters that much, though.
You don't think?
Interesting reuniclus switch there. I'm not sure I agree with that one.
Here comes Dragapult on the Focus Blast. Wow. Pismire's feeling himself right now. Shadow Ball switch-ins are looking extremely limited. Bishop's
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
kind of it.
He's kind of set himself up for that. And Bishop can only do so much here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably swapping out. I don't want to risk a 50-50 if I'm them. Well, there's no 50-50. Your choice locked.
I'm just clicking knockoff, but knockoff into Zapdos isn't doing anything. So
sure. Garchomp is the double switch there. I like it, but Hurricane can definitely still kill. So maybe I don't like it so much, but Stealth Rocks would help.
So do you like it or do you not like it? Pick a side, man.
I liked it, and then I thought about it for more than a beat, and I didn't like it, if I'm being honest.
So you're like a clicker at heart. You just click moves, and you're like, oh yeah, I like it.
As far as commentary is concerned, I am a clicker. Yeah. Click first, decide later. Pismire's looking strong with their patented dual fire stab heat ran. reuniclus is coming again. Definitely a pass in the Zapdos' side. Surprised we didn't see a defog there, honestly, but they're really taking the Zapdos' health seriously, which I respect. Hydreigo's coming in instead on the future site. They'll be able to handle this fine. Drop a big Dark Pulse without really any answer. Your best answer is Bisharp, who you can't possibly risk. Vander's going to take quite a bit with his Life Orb. It's actually a Draco Meteor instead. Boy, am I wrong. And yeah, that's huge damage. Gotta be Bisharp. Okay. That 6% on Stealth Rocks does matter. I think you are probably in range of Shadow Ball at this point, unless I'm mistaken. Here comes Zapdos. reuniclus will handle this fine. So they go to Garchomp, looking for that Volt Switch, in fact. Good play. I like it.
He gets it right, but I think it's still too little too late. Zapdos can simply roost off any and all damage it takes, and it does exactly that, taking 61% from the Draco Meteor, roosting it all off, meaning barring a critical hit, the Zapdos will escape this 1v1 completely unscathed, and even with potential of removing the entry hazards if it so pleases, but it does not seem to please to do so, so that's fine too.
Don't go to Dragobolt. Don't feel yourself too much there, Pismires. Okay, thank goodness they don't. Clef takes a lot with the newly revealed Psyshock. Oh, they did use it once before. But still, Bisharp's actually going to swap to here. And yeah, now Bisharp's definitely no long-term answer. Really the only option you had. Garchomp can't come in. reuniclus not much of an answer. Toxapex not much of an answer, so...
And that Insult's injury is going to Iron Head and switch into Zapdos, meaning Zapdos is still at over half health, and it could just roost off that damage easily. And I feel as if this is just a sequence where there's not enough tools on the BBB side in order to overcome the positional advantage that Pismire has at this point in time. As the Garchomp is dead, meaning that now any defog leaves no rocks left on the Pismire side as well.
I mean, really just the lack of Shadow Ball switch-ins were looking really rough. I'm going to say even
and he
30
needs
turns
to Iron
ago.
It is going to flinch, though, and future side will take him out.
I mean, they crit the Zapdos twice? No. That is just too healthy. Here comes Lando. They get in early, so have to receive a Defiant boost. Go for a Sucker Punch here. Could go to Dragon Bolt if you're feeling spicy, but no need. Here comes Zapdos again. And the Roost. Looking like we're going to see a bracket reset, which we love to see. And Sershi's here too. Awesome, awesome stuff. Hope you're all well. Here comes Heatran.
Hello, Dragon King Mag. How are you?
You're just going to be dropped here. A burn would help on the reuniclus, to be honest, but...
Nah, it's kind of beyond help at this point. The game is simply over, unfortunately.
Yeah. Shadow Ball going to finish off Bisharp. Future Sight will drop this turn. Is it enough to kill Dragapult? Yeah, it is. I mean, it does come down to Zapdos versus reuniclus, but one got recovery, one does not. I gotta imagine this is Zapdos favored.
Yeah, no, if it was Psychic and not Psyshock, it would have been enough, but it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, sure enough, there it is. They can just take their time here, a little bit safely. Oh, the Future Sight doing...
No, the game's over, unless it's a Psyshock crit.
Wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I was a little bit concerned by that play. Wait.
That's why you always run Psychic over Psyshock on that.
Jeez. I was thrown off a little bit by that last play there, but okay. There we go. We haven't seen a bracket reset in quite a while. I don't think I've ever seen a bracket reset where the momentum didn't carry the loser's finals champion into a win. It's a weird sort of... We have a low sample size in our tournaments, of course, but normally, whoever wins the first game wins the whole thing. So we saw... that happened all the time in monotype, where a loser bracket would come and win the whole tournament from the winner side, or sometimes the winner side just completely sweeps. to start the game, but we'll see. Maybe we can break the tradition right now because it's game 2 of Grand Finals. Pismires versus Big Bison Brawl, BBB. We've lost the patented Pismires Heatran pick here. We've also lost the classic team we saw from BBB for most of the winners side of the bracket here. Kind of a cool team. I don't see Latios very much at all that anymore, so I like to see that presence there too. Really, Carton looking pretty threatening here for sure. Putting some major work in how it's played and the set it's running. Pyram switch-ins look limited beyond T-Tar. Even T-Tar can get focus blasted or earth powered, so it looks a little bit scary here. It's going to come down to some really dicey switches here.
Well, first off, there's a Pokemon that clicks Draco Meteor, and there are Pokemon that take Draco Meteor, and thankfully it looks like this time around, Pismires is going to realize that the Landorus is not one of them. So that's a good start.
That's the exact case here. We are going to see
a
double switch on
Landorus here, and on the Tyranitar. It's got to watch out for the fast Ice Punch, but it's not going to be a one-shot, so Tyranitar no likely is going to be scared out. As Landorus T knows that very well, gets rocks up as Bula is going to get in for Big Bison Brawl. And a Hornleech is only going to do 33% as Landorus T gets the slower pivot off, opening the game up for something like Kyurem, Kartana, or potentially even Magnezone to get in safely.
Actually, Magnezone swap would be great too. There's no true answer to Magnezone on this team at all. They instead over-predict on the Bulu, really feeling themselves a little bit too much. Kartana's still going to take it. Here comes Rocks here, so they do keep the Kartana alive still, which is good because it can still do some work, especially that speed tier. Here comes Toxapex. Wow, Toxapex is the play on the U-turn, so it pans out. Kyurem here, I would like, but Magnezone also works. They go to Slowking Galar.
Nah, I think you go Slowking Galar. You catch that free regenerator, so you can take another Draco later.
Fair.
And then you just click Future Sight and then try and force the Tyranitar out. Oh, double
switch right away.
Pismires feels differently.
This is one of those situations you click a body press, you're in great shape. You click an electric move, you're in great shape against Toxapex. You click a Flash Cannon on the Tapu Bulu, all the better. So this Magnezone, if you play it correctly, Magnezone's the best Pokemon you can have. But if you play it wrong, it's otherwise. There we go, huge body press though. Bird up.
That'll get a kill. Heatran's going to come in to try and revenge kill the Magnezone, almost definitely forcing it out. And the thing is that Pismire doesn't have many checks to Heatran defensively.
Yeah, you're right, actually. Feeny would take too much, especially if it's trapped. Here comes Slowking. Slowking's really pulling so much double duty here. Lead Wiener claiming a bird up. Bird up. Creative, you must be new to the chat if you haven't seen the bird up before. But anyways, back to the game. Grand Finals, Tapu Fini against Heatran. It's pretty much your best swap in here. No risk of burn thanks to that Misty Terrain. Toxic's going to switch in for free. I would love to see a double switch here from Pismires, but I totally understand if they didn't go for that option. Kyurem is going to come in on that double switch like I wanted to see on the Toxapex. That's awesome. Heatran is the best answer to the ice type attacks. It's actually the only answer you have at this stage of the game. However, it's still taking some damage. It's still a Specs. No, it's not a Specs Kyurem. Oh, it's leftovers. Okay, so we're probably going to see Substitute here instead. Makes sense. Kartana, as I mentioned a couple times now, okay defenses, but Spadef is certainly nothing to look at positively. It's going to take... It's ties. Wow, okay. Got to be Latios here. Okay, Draco Meteor. Slowking Galar a little bit low after trying to answer that Heatran a bit. Magnezone's the play. That's going to work out just fine. Thank you, Steel types. Volt Switch here, maybe a Flash Cannon. So Latios is going to stay the course on the Thunderbolt. Yeah, played that really nicely. Once again, Magnezone. Play it right, it's amazing. If you don't, it's going to do nothing but 20% to your enemy.
And another one bites the dust there with Magnezone dying, the first Pokemon for Pismires to faint. But it looks like Slowking Galar is going to be the revenge killer of choice here, although it isn't really much of a revenge killer as it is going to be
kind of built up by Psychic
and Sludge Bomb. Oh, a little bit of a savior there.
Yeah, kind of.
And it seems Big Bison Brawl is not happy with that.
Looks like they might be calling it there. I mean, I gotta admit that Kyurem was looking extremely limited at this point, especially with T-Tar dead. And I think we're gonna see Pismires take it. Oh, they're not gonna forfeit just yet. They're gonna play it through. I like that. I respect that. He's gonna be the sack. Here comes.
Ooh,
I mean, you could Kyurem here. Pick and choose the move after that point. Lando works too. A ton of damage. Tapu Bulu with Stealth Rocks and with Earthquake. Is it even living in Earthquake at this point? I'd imagine no. Just barely. Okay. But it is to a KO unless it's a tanky set. I keep showing what I know. U-turn there into the Kyurem. Okay. Pretty, you know, I would say we had a couple of anticlimactic sets. A certain Shell Smash Blastoise from last week comes to mind. A lot of people will be able to thaw that out, but
yeah, but all in all,
great tournament.
No, just pretty good, not great. Slowly despite you.
Screw you, Finch. It was a great tournament. If for no other reason you were here, you tried to antagonize me, but I got nothing but love for you, man. Thank you again for joining us for the whole tournament. I was thrilled you said you wanted to stop by for a couple hours, but joining us the entire time again was absolute pleasure.
Well, this one didn't run as long as last time. I got to be up at 6 in the morning, but I don't fall asleep till midnight, so we're good.
Hey, last week you said you didn't fall asleep till 1 a.m., so you're kind of fixing it, sounds like.
Yeah, but my coworkers all got sick at the same time, so I'm just like doing double duty. So this week I'm like falling asleep when I can, you know?
That's fair. That's fair. That's probably the best.
But thankfully, while my coworkers might be sick, the plays here are sick in a totally different way. Some really great plays from Piz Myers to solidify a tight victory with Kyurem closing the game out. Big Bison Brawl, also known as the Big Baller Brand Baller. Really some masterful play on his end as well. Unfortunately, not the best matchup in the closing game, coupled with maybe some untimely poison there just to close things out. Definitely great showing on his end. And of course, we saw some great stuff from Alpaca as well. And Apache as well. And all in all, just a good series.
I think if there's a lesson to take away from last week's tournament, make sure you have a Shadow Ball resist, or at least have a game plan for when Shadow Ball comes up at you. I think this one's takeaway is
maybe just bring 6 offensive Pokemon and just say screw it.
Say screw it. But I think the lesson to take away from this one is, unless you're bringing 6 offensive Pokemon, to also maybe have a bit of a Kyurem answer. I know it's limiting, it's difficult. I always refer people to that awesome Poke Game video, but it's pretty limiting itself. But once again, huge run from these two. Shout out to Finchinator. By the way, we got a lot of people in the chat still. I should certainly hope that all of you are subscribed to Finchinator on the YouTubes. Fantastic YouTube channel. I talked about how it was black and white. Viability list was fantastic.
Hold on. What is YouTube? Who's that guy?
Is this not you? Am I talking to a different Finchinator?
Yo, what? Is there another Finchinator? Oh my! You guys have to check him out. Then. He must be pretty cool. I bet he's handsome too. Oh my goodness.
Anyways, so make sure to give Finchinator some love if you haven't already. I've been a fan of his for a long time, so I'm so glad to have him on here. And as always, tournaments are running every Monday. Thank you so much for watching. And for the YouTube sake, I will say, see you guys next time. Take it easy.